Yeah. Fired up. This one's for the drivers.
Out in the shop, late night lights, grease on our hands, chasing lap times. Every turn, every line we find, trying to build that edge you feel when you drive. From the blacktop tracks to the dirt out back, we've been putting in work, yeah, we live like that. Not just fast for a lap, we make it last. So when it counts, you're gone on the gas. We don't guess, we know what it takes. Every set of build from the ground we break. If you want that feel when the car locks in, you're in the right place. Let's go in. Yeah, we built for the win. Hammer down, let it ride, do it all again. From the green flag flying to the checkered drop, we're the reason you're leading Tier 1 setup shop. Tier 1, take it straight to the front. League nights, open runs, we're the ones you want. Dialed in speed, yeah, we don't miss shots. If you wanna win races, Tier 1 setup shop. Got weekly sets ready, ready to roll. Quality trim sharp, race pace control. Builders in the lab, yeah, they stay on it. Every tweak, every change, we gain on it. Need a custom fit, yeah, we do that too. Built to match your style, what you like to do. And it ain't just speed, it's a team right here. We ride together every lap, every gear. Yeah, we test, we tone, we put in the miles. Turn bad weeks into victory smiles. From rookies to pros, we're all about growth. Now fire that motor, let's get to the front. Yeah, we built for the win. Hammer down, let it ride, do it all again. From the green flag flying to the checkered drop, we're the reason you're leading Tier 1 setup shop. Tier 1, yeah, you know the name. When the pressure's on, we bring the game. From the shop to the track, yeah, we don't stop. If you wanna win races, Tier 1 setup shop. Tier 1. Till we build, till we build, till we build, Tier 1 setup shop.
Looking to take your racing to the next level? You need speed and you need style. At Tier 1 Setup Shop, we'll help you hit the track with total confidence. We provide race-winning setups for all three eNASCAR series, Cup, Xfinity, and trucks, plus a huge variety of asphalt oval cars. We've also brought that performance to the dirt. Winged and non-winged sprint cars, micro sprints, dirt midgets, all built by racers who know how to win. And now, get the perfect look. We offer professional wraps and graphics with Tier 1 wraps. Multiple feature artists make it easy to find a design to fit your exact needs and budget. Get what you need when you need it with individual setup purchases, or get full weekly access with a Tier 1 subscription. Tier 1 Setup Shop. You're more than a customer, you're part of the team.
This isn't just another sim race, this isn't just another online league, and this isn't just another trophy on a shelf. This is the Charity Cup Series.
Drivers choose the charity. Talent chooses the winner. The culture is strong, but the competition is stronger. Most events focus on just one cause, not here. Each driver selects a charity to race for, leaving dozens of causes in contention as drivers fight for a place in the top 5.
Think you've got what it takes to join the Charity Cup Series? Find a cause you believe in and buckle up. This is more than your everyday sim racing experience. This is the Charity Cup Series.
This
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Tier 1 Studios. My name's Pat Wilkinson. Up in the booth, joining me tonight are the voices inside my head alongside my good friends, myself and I. as we rejoin the Wild West Racing League Gen 4 Cup Series out here tonight at Chicagoland Speedway after a very triumphant return from the current NASCAR Cup Series here at Chicagoland just a few days ago on Sunday this past week for a fantastic 4th of July race weekend here at Joliet, Illinois. 65 degrees in the air, 101 on the racetrack in practice at the moment. Fixed setups, one fast repair, 2 mile an hour wind from north on a dry surface out here tonight at Chicagoland. Proving to be very difficult in the early stages of practice. Hot racetrack with very minimal grip down on the apron. Not sure if we're going to be seeing a lot of use from the apron down in the bottom of the tri-oval out here tonight. We take a look at 3 minutes and 5 seconds left in practice. Jacob Shoffett leading the way. Blake Cuttrell, Trey Smith, up to third. Brandon Harris, John Statkos, Ty Sykes, Tanner Ensign, Dakota Henderson, Brighton Coleman, Marcus Kaiser, Mike Presley, and Brady Karowski yet to set a time out here tonight. Brady Karowski up to 11th. Mike Presley just out onto the racetrack now. We join the 00 of Jacob Shoffett. Off of turns 1 and 2. Trying to run down 5 of Dakota Henderson just ahead of him. Henderson pulls off. Somebody on fire in the pit lane. Final 2 minutes of practice here at Chicagoland. Jacob Shoffett still with the fastest time so far out here, jumping down to Brady Karowski in the 77, way loose off the turn too. Hopefully we can see this race under the lights and with some cooler track. 40 seconds left in practice. Jacob Shoffett, Blake Cuttrell, Trey Smith, Brandon Harris, John Statkos, Ty Sykes, Tanner Ensign, Dakota Henderson, Brighton Coleman, Mike Presley, Brady Karowski, Marcus Kaiser yet to set a timeout here. Michael Loveless just joining the session now. Truly a man who likes to appear at just the last possible moment. Michael Loveless in the number 68 Meals on Wheels Water Wheel Foundation race car out here tonight. Heading over to qualifying we go. We are staying in the daytime, so that is going to make things truly miserable for a plethora of drivers out here tonight. Brighton Coleman, first car brave enough to go tackle the racetrack out here at Chicagoland. He rolls off of turn 4. Tanner Ensign also out onto the racetrack now. Jump over to him in the WIO Outlaw Custom Diecast number 44. This broadcast is brought to you in part by WIO Outlaw Custom Diecast, the Stanford Wet Foundation, Redline Radio, and Raiders Wasteland, the premier DayZ experience on Xbox, veteran-owned and operated. Raiders Wasteland offering something for every gamer looking to survive the zombie apocalypse. Weekly events for PvE and PvP players, and different maps for all to enjoy. Join the Discord today at Raider PvE, REIDER PvE. This broadcast is also brought to you in part by Rock Bottom Racing, Tier 1 Wraps, Tier 1 Setup Shops, and Tier 1 Studios. Down into turns 1 and 2 we go with the 44 of Tanner Ensign. Leading the charge off of turn 2 as we jump inside for just a moment down the curved backstretch here at Chicagoland, making this a slightly more unique setup for a racetrack. Through turns 3 and 4 we go now, running all the way up on the high side. Seems to have a little bit extra grip up there, as well as overall speed all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack into turn 1. Into the tri-oval, we go. Tanner Ensign, fastest car so far. Huh? Hopefully a quick refresh will fix that. Hey? Oh. There we go. Somewhere along the way, I chose the wrong setting for the timing tower. My apologies. Jacob Schaffet with the fastest lap now, 30.398. John Stakos 900ths behind. Brandon Harris 1/10 behind. Tanner Ensign a quarter second behind, blowing his second lap all the way. Must have hit the outside wall into turn 1. Trey Smith a third of a second behind. Marcus Kaiser half a second down. Brady Karowski 2/3 down. Jumping over to Ty Sykes, just at the bottom of the racetrack, winding that baby up, ready to go racing out here tonight. Into turns 3 and 4 we go, trying to get that thing wound up. Past start-finish line opening lap for Ty Sykes. Mike Presley up to 6th at the moment. I remember to... Off of turn 2 and down the backstretch we go. My apologies. I keep Forgore. Ty Sykes through turns 3 and 4 minutes to run the midline out here tonight. A little bit lower, a little bit faster than Tanner Ensign in the snap-on number 1. Past the start-finish line for Ty Sykes. Ty Sykes with an opening lap that did not count. Back into turns 1 and 2 we go, still holding that midline at the moment. Statkos off of pit road, or Statkos back onto pit road, excuse me. Down through turns 3 and 4, one of Ty Sykes really trying to get some speed going. Past the start-finish line we go. Ty Sykes with a flying lap. He did not set a time again. What is going on? Is this broken tonight? I have no idea what's going on. Well, hopefully it fixes itself, because I have no idea what's going on out here tonight at Chicagoland, and hopefully we get some nighttime racing. No, we do not. It's going to be blazing hot sun out here tonight at Chicagoland for 80 laps under the sun. Jacob Schaffet on the point. John Stackos in second. Brandon Harris third. Tanner Ensign, Trey Smith, Mike Presley, Marcus Kaiser, Brady Karowski, Dakota Henderson, Michael Lovelace, Blake Cuttrell, Ty Sykes, and Brighton Coleman at the tail end of the field, rounding out your 13 drivers out here tonight. We jump into the car to help speed up the gridding process. Waiting on Ty Sykes and John Stackos. Now just Stackos, your second place driver at the moment. Hopefully we get this rolling in just a minute. Stackos joining the racetrack now. We are gridding, ready to go racing. There we go. We get ready to roll around the racetrack here. Jacob Schaffet, John Stackos, Brandon Harris, Tanner Ensign, Trey Smith, Mike Presley, Marcus Kaiser, Brady Karowski, Dakota Henderson, Michael Lovelace. Down in your top 10, Ty Sykes in 11th, Blake Cuttrell in 12th, and Brighton Coleman at the tail end of the field in 13th. Going to be a very hot racetrack out here today at Chicagoland. Down in turns 3 and 4, everybody getting warmed up, ready to go racing. Through turns 3 and 4, waiting on the pace car to dive on down pit road. Jacob Schaffet waiting for the green. Pace car down pit road this time, rolling up towards the restart zone we go. Green flag, green flag, green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Chicagoland. Jacob Schaffet with an early lead. Down into turns 1 and 2 we go. John Stackos, Brandon Harris, and Trey Smith all behind him. Trying to get single file. Schaffet trying to wind that car up off of turn 2. Down the backstretch we go. Trying to keep it up against the wall. Anything to help increase that top speed. He is off like a missile down into turns 3 and 4. Stackos almost 3/4 of a second behind, a little bit over. Brandon Harris, Trey Smith, both about a second and a quarter back. Ensign another quarter second back off of Smith. Presley another quarter off of Ensign. Lovelace down in 7th. Some action start out here tonight. Let's jump down to Trey Smith, number 51, currently down in 4th. 44 behind, 33 in the 08 in front. 08 running a little bit higher on the racetrack, tends to be down a little bit better. 51 of Trey Smith right behind the 33. Down into turns 1 and 2 we go again. 44 watching on. 51 sliding up down the lane off the wall. Off of turn 2 we go all the way up against the wall now and back down a little bit to the bottom, trying to get the draft from the 33 down into turns 3 and 4 we go. 51 up the inside of the 33 of Brandon Harris, keeping that momentum rolling out here tonight. John Stackos still a good bit ahead, but Jacob Schaffet running away with it early on in this race. 1.5 seconds ahead of Stackos, 4 laps in. Jumping a little bit further down, let's go down to Michael Lovelace, back in his Wheels on Wheels Water Wheel Foundation, number 68, running down the 44 of Ensign just alongside him on the bottom. Currently down in 6th and 7th positions, respectively. Michael Lovelace getting past him. Blake Cotterill just up the road with Trey Smith ahead. Down into turns 1 and 2, we go off 1 into 2. At the tail end of the field, Marcus Kaiser, Dakota Henderson, Mike Presley, Ty Sykes, Brighton Coleman, and Brady Karowski down to 13th. Karowski down 5, Mike Presley down 5, Enzyme down 3, Kaiser down 1. Big mover at the moment is Blake Cotterill up 6, Michael Lovelace in second with 4 positions gained. Ty Sykes up 2, Trey Smith and Brighton Coleman both up 1. Speaking of Trey Smith, all the way up against the wall. A little bit sideways off of turn 2. Managed to get it straightened back out, but Trey Smith bleeding time off of turn 2, scraped off the wall. Not much he could do about it. These cars are incredibly loose out here on this hot paved surface. Hot concrete surface. Back past the start-finish line, 7 of 80 this time by. Go down to Brady Karowski in 77. Currently down in 12th. Blake Cotterill 7 seconds behind the 77 of Karowski. Karowski over a second and a half behind Coleman. Not much help out here as we jump up to Coleman now. In the number 4. Trying to run down the rest of the field in front of him. Mike Presley and Marcus Kaiser both ahead. Trying to get a little bit of a draft going down through the front stretch and into turns 1 and 2. Not a lot of help as we roll off of 2 and down the back stretch we go. Everybody trying to get some speed going out here tonight. These cars proving to be very difficult to race. Watch the field out in front. 77 making up some serious ground though. 77, Brady Karowski starting to reel in Coleman little by little on the bottom of the racetrack just with his own momentum. 2.5 seconds behind. Approach 10 of 80 this time by. Let's jump up in the field. Let's go up. Dakota Henderson in the number 5. Down the backstretch ahead of the 44 Tanner Enzyme. Ty Sykes behind. Trey Smith ahead with Michael Lovelace in 4th. Brandon Harris, John Stackhouse, and Jacob Shoffett still pulling away 1.65 ahead of Stackhouse. Continue on racing here at Chicagoland with the Wild West Racing League. There goes Shoffett, there goes Stackhouse, Harris, Lovelace, Smith, and Henderson past the camera. Back down into turns 3 and 4 we go. Everybody trying to keep the speed up at the moment. 44 Enzyme starting to make up some ground here on the bottom of the racetrack on Dakota Henderson. Trying to run him back down. Get some of that speed and time back after going down 3 at the moment. Blake Cotterill out of the race early in the number 48 due to connection issues, I imagine. Very unfortunate way for the race to be going for him out here tonight. Back through turn 3, going on to front stretch. We go once again. Henderson still holding his grip on Trey Smith just ahead of him. And our Enzyme behind trying to run him down. Into turns 1 and 2 as we jump back up to our race leader. Whoa, big time sideways for Jacob Shoffett. Off turn 2. Ripping it up on the high side through turns 3 and 4. 000833. Back into the short chute and past the trial start finish line. 14 of 80. Stackhouse reeling him in. Jacob Shoffett may have used too much too soon at the beginning of this race as we approach 15 laps next time by. Shop it back off of turn 2. 0-8 of Stackhouse right on his heels now. Stackhouse looking to make a move on the outside. Chooses the high side right up against the wall. Trying to go on the switch back into turn 4. Doesn't quite have the momentum to do it. Right behind Shoppet, making the move on the high side on the exit of turn 4. Still side by side down into turn 1 we go. 0-8 of Stackhouse trying to get past the 0-0 of Shoppet on the bottom of the racetrack. He gets it. John Stackhouse, new race leader out here tonight in the number 0-8 Monster Machine. Jacob Shoppet in the Puffy Swag Shop 00. Brandon Harris, Michael Lovelace, Dakota Henderson, Trey Smith, Tanner Ensign, Mike Presley, Ty Sykes, Marcus Kaiser, Brighton Coleman, and Brady Karowski. of 80 this time by. Back off of turn 2, 0-8 of Stackhouse, starting to pull away a little bit from Jacob Shoffett. Michael Lovelace up to third, 2.5 seconds behind. Jump down to him. Brandon Harris right behind him. Dakota Henderson right there as well with the 51 of Trey Smith. 4 cars running in pretty decent formation. 44 also right there with them. Further back. 18 of 80 this time by. Rest of the field really trying to put the momentum on, get some speed back into these race cars. These Gen 4s are not the most out here tonight. That's the camera on the backstretch. Oh geez, I'm a little dim tonight apparently. Lovelace leading this little pack as Stackhouse and Shoppet pass the camera here. Just past the front finish line. Lovelace, Harris, Henderson, Smith, and Ensign. Mike Presley, Ty Sykes, Marcus Kaiser, Brighton Coleman, and Brady Karowski. Karowski 13 seconds behind leader Marcus Kaiser and Brighton Coleman duking out for 10th at the moment. Ty Sykes ahead of Coleman by about a second. Mike Presley only about a quarter second ahead of Ty Sykes. Ensign a full second ahead of Presley. Sykes going past. Trey Smith about quarter second up. Whoa, 33 sideways off of turn 2. Very much sideways. Managed to save it. What a move from the 33 of Brandon Harris. Losing a little bit of time. Lost position to Dakota Henderson now on the high side. Just ahead of him. But what a save from the number 33. Scraping up against the wall a little bit off of turn 4. Trying to conserve what is left of these race cars. These guys are shredding tire out here tonight at Chicagoland on this very hot concrete rough and tumble surface. Very bumpy, very loose, especially when you put this hot July sun on the racetrack. Does not tend to help anybody out. As I was finding out in practice, believe me, I was backwards and upside down and everything else. Three under pressure from the 51 of Trey Smith and Tanner Ensign starting to work together a little bit behind him. Off the 51 and the 44 on the bottom of the racetrack. 51. I believe that's Powerade 0. It is Powerade 0. I can read. Woo! I knew there was a perk to working in a preschool. No. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Start jumping around into the field a little bit more. Let's go over to Mike 0. WIO Outlaw Customs ICAST machine. Whoa, caution is out. Marcus Kaiser with an issue. Oh, maybe not. Is that the 33? It is the 33 of Brandon Harris. 33 lost it off of turn 4, punted by the 44 a little bit. Well, assisted by the 44 a little bit there. A little bit of net code, I believe. Destroying that race car. Marcus Kaiser also with a problem. Kaiser facing the wrong way in pit road, getting towed back to his stall. First caution of the night with the Wild West Racing League Gen 4 Cup Series here at Chicagoland. This is Tier 1 Studios, brought to you in part by Tier 1 Wraps and Tier 1 Setup Shop, and Rock Bottom Racing as a 33 loses a tire into turn 3. Wild West Racing League brought to you in part by WIO Outlaw Custom Diecast, the Stand for Wit Foundation, Redline Radio, and Raiders Wasteland, the premier DayZ experience on Xbox, veteran-owned and operated. Raiders Wasteland offering something for every gamer looking to survive the zombie apocalypse, weekly events for PvE and PvP players in different maps for all to enjoy. Join the Discord today at Raider PvE. Everybody down pit road. Hey, I clicked the right one. Pace cars' lights are off, ready to go racing once again out here tonight. Only 10 cars left on the lead lap. Brandon Harris down 1. Marcus Kaiser still down pit road. Blake Cuttrell is out due to connection issues. Mike Presley, Trey Smith, Ty Sykes, Dakota Henderson, Brighton Coleman, John Stackhouse, Michael Lovelace, Tanner Ensign, Jacob Schaffe, and Brady Garowski. Pace car down pit road this time. 0 of Mike Presley on the point. First caution of the night coming to a close. Green flag is in the air. 0 did not go. Pole bottom line checked up for the 0 of Mike Presley, who couldn't get underway. Must have left it in 4th gear as we rolled around behind the pace car to conserve a little bit of extra fuel. That engine cooled back down as well. These cars do tend to run a bit hot. 51 of Trey Smith back up to the lead now. Dakota Henderson and John Stackhouse right there behind him. 1 of Ty Sykes. Smith down to the bottom of the racetrack, has to come back down pit road. May have had a penalty. Dakota Henderson on the lead with Stackhouse right there on his heels. Ty Sykes, Mike Presley, Michael Lovelace, Brian Coleman, Jacob Schaffe, Brady Growski, and Tanner Ensign. Rest of the field off of turns 1 and 2. Down the backstretch we go in turn 3. 31-80. John Stackhouse up the lead. Apologies for that. Dakota Henderson in second. Ty Sykes still holding third. Michael Lovelace 2.5 behind the leader. Down in fourth with Presley right there behind him. A little bit of side-by-side action. Trey Smith down 2 laps at the moment. Not the way he wanted his race to go. His car to catch up to Tanner Ensign. Tanner Ensign last car on the lead lap. Brandon Harris down 1. Trey Smith down 2. Ensign 8 seconds behind the leader with some damage on his rear bumper, letting the 51 by on the bottom. 4 seconds behind Karowski just up the road in the number 77. These cameras suck in TV mode. Jacob Schaffet starting to fall back now, not quite as fast as he was before in the 00 Huffy's swag shop machine. 33 of 80 laps completed this time by. Jump a little bit further to Michael Lovelace in the number 68 now, just off of turn 2. Down the backstretch we go. Lovelace 5 seconds behind the leader now. 4 Brighton Coleman right behind him, less than a half second back. Presley also about half a second behind Coleman. Setting a furious pace out here tonight in the number 08. Dakota Henderson and Ty Sykes doing their best to keep up. Running these cars all over the racetrack, trying to keep up with them. Zero-8 of Stackhouse through turns 1 and 2. Henderson still trying to reel him in, less than a quarter second behind. One of Ty Sykes starting to fall back a little bit, also about a quarter seconds behind Henderson. Excuse me. Start-finish line approaching the halfway mark out here tonight at Chicagoland with the Wild West Racing League Gen4 Cup Series. Brought to you in part by WIO Outlaw Custom Diecast, the Stand for Wit Foundation, Redline Radio, and Raiders Wasteland, the premier DayZ experience on Xbox, veteran-owned and operated. Raiders Wasteland offering something for every gamer looking to survive the zombie apocalypse. Weekly events for PvE and PvP players in different maps for all to enjoy. Join the Discord today at Raider PvE. Dakota Henderson in the 5 up into the wall off of turns 3 and 4. Broadcast is also brought to you in part by Rock Bottom Racing, Tier 1 Wraps, Tier 1 Setup Shops, and Tier 1 Studio here on YouTube. 0-8 of Stackhouse up into the wall off of turn 2. Of Stackhouse still trying to put on a monstrous pace out here tonight. Michael Lovelace 7.8 seconds behind the leader and still falling as we approach lap 40 of 80. 40 laps to go this time by. Back past the start-finish line, Michael Lovelace still holding off Brighton Coleman, Mike Presley, and Brady Karowski all in this small pack with him. 51 of Trey Smith trying to make up some time here, put himself back at least only a lap down to Mike Lovelace, hoping that Brandon Harris has some trouble in front of him so he can be the lucky dog next time around. Let's jump down to Brandon Harris now. Running in a world by himself in the number 33 Mountain Dew Chevrolet. Back into turns 1 and 2 we go again. Jacob Schaffet also running in a world on his own. Tanner Ensign, another 10 seconds behind Schaffet. Kurowski 3 seconds ahead of Schaffet in the 77. Mike Presley about second up the road on the 77. Coleman up 2. Almost going on 3 seconds up the road on Mike Presley. Michael Loveless just ahead of him. Big slide for the number 4, though. Off of turn 4, past the start-finish line. 42 of 80 this time by. 68 of Loveless, doing everything he can to continue pulling away from these cars behind him. Try to get back up into the fight for the lead with Dakota Henderson, Ty Sykes, and John Stackos. Ty Sykes up to second now, half a second behind Stackos. Jump up to him. In the number 1 Snap-on Chevrolet. Fiva Henderson with a big blink through the front stretch. Ty Sykes still in second place, 45 of 80. John Stackos about a second up the road, getting a little bit of a tow from Tanner Ensign. Now going a lap down, Jacob Schaffet further up the road. 44 Ensign trying to get into the draft train with the number 1 of Ty Sykes, who is rapidly approaching. Sykes not going with him. 08 of Stackos still running away with it. Not sure how that 08 car is running so much better than everybody else out here tonight. Here at Chicagoland. Coming down towards 30 laps to go. Tanner Ensign off the racetrack and into the grass. Take a jump back at what happened. Whoa! Lost it through the tri-oval. Clips the inside wall with the nose of that race car. Just couldn't get it back around. Tanner Ensign backwards in the grass, off the tri-oval, back onto the racetrack. Jacob Schaffet just behind him in terms of on-track position. Lap up on both him and Brandon Harris. Brady Kurowski in the 77, Mike Presley, Bryton Coleman, Michael Loveless, Dakota Henderson, Ty Sykes, and John Stackos still on the lead lap. Only 8 cars left. Stackos about to put the other contender for the early race lead a lap down by 21 seconds at the moment. Currently down in 8th. Jacob Schaffet really slowing down out here tonight. Not having a great night so far. Doing the best he can, though. Coming down to 30 laps to go out here tonight. .30 laps to go this time by. Everybody doing the best they can just to even keep up with John Stackos at the moment. Ty Sykes now a second and a quarter down. Dakota Henderson falling back. Another second and a half. Well, second and a quarter behind Ty Sykes. Question is, who is going to be brave enough to go down pit road first, try to get the early advantage with 30 laps to go. Sykes and Henderson still trying to catch up to John Stackhouse up the road. Michael Lovelace over 11, almost 12 seconds behind the leader. At this point, question is, who's going to come down pit road first? A lot of guys at the tail of the field don't have a lot to lose at this point. Would not hurt to go down pit road, get fresh set of Goodyear tires, get back out on the racetrack. A little bit of extra speed, start putting the pressure on John Stackhouse, make up the time you can before Stackhouse has to come on down pit road. Jumping down to Brandon Harrison, the 33, first car lap down. Tanner Enzyme, the next car lap down. Trey Smith down 2. Very unfortunate night. Marcus Kaiser out of the race with Blake Cuttrell as well. Not a great night for a lot of drivers out here tonight at Chicagoland, proving to be a little bit too difficult for a lot of drivers out here tonight. Nothing against them. This place is a very difficult racetrack, especially on a hot day like today. Really making this concrete slick. 33 down pit road this time. Brighton Coleman also down pit road ahead of him. Jumping back up to the leader. Oh, that'd be why that hasn't moved. Trey Smith down pit road as well. Brighton Coleman, Brandon Harrison, Trey Smith. 44 Enzyme on the high side. .08 of Stackhouse down pit road with the 5 of Dakota Henderson right behind him. Ty Sykes up to the lead of this race, trying to draft behind the 44, just ahead of him, get whatever speed he can get out of this number 1 car before he has to get back down pit road. From the race lead, Michael Lovelace in second, 10 seconds behind and reeling him in. Maybe not. One of Sykes down pit road this time. We will jump over to Michael Lovelace in second place. Going to be in first if he stays out this time by. Nope, he will not. Stackhouse back out on the racetrack. With 25 laps to go this time by. Michael Lovelace taking the lead. Ty Sykes needs the pit stop of a century to get back off of pit road ahead of John Stackhouse here. Stackhouse off of pit road into turns 3 and 4 we go, just winding this car back up and onto the racetrack through the high side of 3 and 4. Sykes leaving pit road, back out onto the racetrack, but the 08 of Stackhouse is gonna get him through the high side of turns 1 and 2 as we continue on with this race. 25 laps to go here at Chicagoland. You're right, Stackhouse still leading the way. Ty Sykes in second, just rolling off of turn 2 now. Henderson. Oh, that's not the right car. Henderson, a second behind him. Brighton Coleman just rolling through turns 1 and 2 now. Over 10 seconds behind Dakota Henderson. Mike Presley, another 10 seconds behind Brighton Coleman. Jacob Schuffett, another 5 seconds behind him. Enzyme down pit road again. Michael Lovelace out on the racetrack down a lap. Trey Smith down 2. Kurowski down pit road in the 77. Not sure if he's called it a night, but he is down in 11th at the moment. 08 of Statcoast leading the way. .22 laps to go for John Statcoast, just destroying the field out here tonight. Down the backstretch we go again. Laps to go. Statcoast still leading the way back into turns 1 and 2 with 20 to go now. Shoffett, the last car on the lead lap, 24 seconds behind. Just rolling through turns 3 and 4 now. Down in 6th, Brandon Harris and Michael Lovelace behind them, both down a lap. He's catching up to them with a good head of steam at the moment. Lovelace just up the road. Mike Presley, 3 seconds up on him. Brighton Coleman, almost 10 seconds up on Shoffett. Henderson and Sykes reeling in. Statcoast really slow down off of turn 2. Ty Sykes and Dakota Henderson reeling him in the battle for the lead once again. 18 laps to go at the line. Apologies, it's not the most interesting broadcast once again, but we're trying out here. Plenty of good racing, just little bits at the moment. Ty Sykes, Dakota Henderson both past John Statcoast now. Ty Sykes leading the way with 17 laps to go out here tonight. Dakota Henderson half a second behind. Statcoast dropping back almost 2 seconds behind the leader now as we come down to 16 laps to go. Brighton Coleman 12 seconds behind Statcoast. Mike Presley 5 seconds behind Coleman. Shoffett still 3 seconds behind Presley. Brandon Harris and Michael Lovelace both down 1. Trey Smith and Tanner Ensign both down 2. Brady Kurowski back out on the racetrack, down 3 in the number 77. To go. 14 to go now at the line. Ty Sykes still trying to run away with it. Dakota Henderson falling back by a full second now. Stackos almost 5 seconds behind, seeming to have lost that amazing speed that 08 had. Not sure if the track's changed a little bit. Let's take a quick look at the weather. It's down a few degrees, but not by much. Still 105 degrees out on the racetrack today at this 1.53 mile, 662 feet above sea level racetrack with a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit here in Juliet, Illinois. I forgot to set all that up, but it's fine. Apologies. I am running on about 5 hours of sleep, and I've been running on 5 hours of sleep all week, so we're good. Ty Sykes 1.35 ahead of Henderson as we come down to 10 laps to go. Let's see if anybody's going to make things interesting by absolutely sending it into a right-hand turn. Never know these days. Making things interesting. Caution back in the air. Trey Smith with an issue. Apologies for that. 51 down to the apron, trying to get it slowed down. Just pulling it off the racetrack and calling it a night. I believe not the way anybody wanted that to end for Trey Smith. Second caution of the night. Ty Sykes, Dakota Henderson, John Stackos, Brighton Coleman, Mike Presley, and Jacob Schaffet all on the lead lap. Brandon Harris will be the lucky dog. Michael Lovelace down in 8th. Tanner Ensign down 2 in 9th. Brady Kurowski will move up to 10th. Couple cars down pit road. Stackos, Coleman, Presley, and Schaffet down pit road. Lovelace down pit road. Ty Sykes, Dakota Henderson staying out. Brandon Harris going on around. Back onto the lead lap in 7th place. Pace car's lights are off. Ready to go green flag this time by. Ty Sykes, Dakota Henderson, John Stackhouse on fresh tires, Brighton Coleman, Jacob Schaff, Mike Presley, and Brandon Harris, Michael Loveless, Tanner Ensign, and Brady Karowski. Down to 10th. Last 10 cars in the race. Trey Smith out. Marcus Kaiser out, and Blake Cuttrell out. Pace car. Down pit road this time. There it goes. Rolling up towards the restart zone we go. Green flag, green flag, green flag is in the air once again. Very slowly again. Forgot to downshift to get it rolling. Jacob Schaffet and John Stackhouse in a battle to get back into the lead. 3 wide for the lead with Schaffet on the bottom. Stackhouse right there behind him. Whoa, big time loose from the 00 of Jacob Schaffet. 1 and the 5 on the high side. 00 and the 08 on the bottom. 08 up to the top behind the 5-1 down to the bottom of the racetrack trying to work with the 00. 3 wide for second place. 00, 08 and the 5. Whoa, 5 in the 08 up for turn 4. Bit of a contact. 4 laps to go. Anything at this point will be overtime out here tonight at Chicagoland with the Wild West Racing League. Brought to you by all of us here at Tier 1 Studio and Rock Bottom Racing. Back off of turn 2. Down the backstretch we go. Everybody still trying to make some magic happen out here tonight. Ty Sykes, John Stackhouse, and Jacob Schaffet still running each other all over the racetrack with 3 laps to go at the line. 68 of Michael Loveless, 5 of Dakota Henderson, and 0 of Mike Presley. Too many names to remember. Staying on board with the leader. 08 of Stackhouse and the 00 of Schaffet. Hot on his heels. 1 of Sykes trying to block down into turns 3 and 4 with 2 laps to go. Not sure if the cars on the fresher tires will be able to be held off by the 1 as Stackhouse goes through. Schaffet on the high side through with 2 laps to go. Jumping up to John Stackhouse now. 0 of Schaffet trying to reel him in on the bottom. Definitely got some speed to do it with. Off of turn 2. Down the backstretch we go again. 08 in the 00. Down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. Everybody trying to play nice, not send this race into overtime with another caution. Back off of turn 4 through the trial will we go. White flag, white flag, white flag is in the air. We are coming back no matter what here at Chicagoland. Down into turns 1 and 2. 00 sending it down into turn 1. Almost comes across and clips the quarter panel of the 08 into turn 1. Amazingly backed out of it in time, but lost all of his momentum in doing so under pressure from teammates in the 0 and the 68 behind him of Michael Loveless, but the 08 of John Stackhouse through turns 3 and 4. And the 1 of Ty Sykes goes for a spin, will come back around and win tonight here at Chicagoland. John Stackhouse, your race winner, Jacob Schaffet and Mike Presley in third. What a finish. Wrong one. There we go. That looks better. Let's get John Stackhouse in here. John Stackhouse, this is Pat Wilkinson up in the booth. Do you got me?
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Doing very well. Congratulations on a fantastic win out here tonight at Chicagoland. Where did all of that speed come from?
Oh, new tires. I was saved by that last caution, that's for sure. That was crazy. And that restart, Jacob, Ty, and myself were just racing. That was awesome racing.
Well, hey, that was a fantastic race from you out there tonight. Congratulations on the win. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off?
Thank you to you and the broadcast, and thank you to every racer out here. These guys are fantastic. I thought my day was ruined by not taking the tires on the second to last pit stop, but that last pit stop saved me. I got some fresh boots on the car, and away we went. So thank you very much to everybody.
Appreciate that very much. Thanks for joining us once again, and congratulations.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
Let's get Jacob Shoffett in here next. Jacob Shoffett, this is Pat Wilkinson up the booth. You got me.
Hey, Pat, how you doing?
Doing pretty all right. Congratulations on a fantastic second place in the number 00 Chevrolet out there tonight. Talk us through it.
Man, that was it was fun. Me and John were definitely class of the field tonight, I believe. It was definitely a blast. Mistimed the first caution on pit road. Come down, and because he qualified second and I qualified first, and inverted going on pit road. I mistimed it trying to drive through him as soon as he got in his pit box, but he wasn't quite ghosting. So I just dumped him on pit road. So, but after we fixed that damage and we had that extra set of tires for that last caution, man, I just stuffed it down in there trying to get everything I could get.
Well, I'd say it worked out for you in the end. Overall, what a fantastic finish it for you out here tonight in the 00 Puffy's Swag Shop machine. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off?
Yeah, man, I want to give a shout out to Puffy Swag Shop for all your custom merch needs. Also to Setup Shop, teammates over at Fearless Motorsports, and of course you up there in broadcast booth there at Tier 1.
Appreciate that very much. Thank you for joining us once again out here tonight, and hope to see more of you in the future.
Absolutely. Hope we put on a hell of a show for you.
Got a bit quiet at some points, but yeah, pretty well overall, I'd say.
Absolutely.
You have yourself a good one now, Jacob. Thanks for joining us.
Hey.
Let's get Mike Presley in here, and we'll call it a night. Mike Presley, this is Pat Wilkinson up the booth. You got me?
Hey, I got you, Pat. How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty well. How about you?
Hi, I'm feeling great.
Fantastic third place finish out here tonight. Talk us through a little bit of that.
Man, I'm a little surprised. Chicagoland is pretty much one of my good tracks. I've done well. I've actually won a race on it before, and so I just stayed on that same strategy that I had then, and my crew chief Tanner, he's the best, and he got me right through it, and the strategy worked, and on tires, and just be patient, and basically that's about it, man.
I'd say it worked for you pretty well in the end with a fantastic third place finish right at the end. Congratulations once again. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off?
Yes, sir, man. I'd like to thank Ensign Motorsport for allowing me to race with him, and Tanner Ensign. He's a great crew chief, and my teammate Brighton that raced tonight, and we all did good, and I appreciate them. And also want to throw out Ryer Outlaw Diecast for their sponsorship and so forth. So other than that, man, I just appreciate you and appreciate this league, and I'm having a great time.
Congratulations once again. Thanks for joining us up here in the booth, and congratulations.
Okay, thank you, Pat.
Well, folks, you've yet again spent another perfectly good hour and 10 minutes with all of us here at Tier 1 Studios. We thank you all for joining us tonight. We hope you've enjoyed. A couple of extra awards to go out for tonight. Brighton Coleman with the Hard Charger Award, up 9 positions. John Stackos with the most laps led at 44. Jacob Shoffett for the pole position award and for the fastest lap with a 30.390. My name's Pat Wilkinson up at the booth. This has been the Wild West Racing League, brought to you in part by WYO Outlaw Custom Diecast, the Stand for Wit Foundation, Redline Radio, and Raiders Wasteland, the premier DayZ experience on Xbox, veteran owned and operated. Raiders Wasteland offering something for every gamer looking to survive the zombie apocalypse, weekly events, for PvE and PvP players in different maps for all to enjoy. Join the Discord today at Raider PvE, Raider PvE. This broadcast was also brought to you in part by Rock Bottom Racing, Tier 1 Wraps, Tier 1 Setup Shops, and Tier 1 Studios here on YouTube. My name is Pat Wilkinson, up in the booth. This has been the Wild West Racing League Gen 4 Cup Series. And until next time, goodbye, farewell, and amen.
Yeah. Fired up. This one's for the drivers. Out in the shop, late night lights, grease on our hands, chasing lap times, every turn, every line we find. Trying to build that edge you feel when you drive. From the blacktop tracks to the dirt out back, we've been putting in work, yeah, we live like that. Not just fast for a lap, we make it last. So when it counts, you're gone on the gas. We don't guess, we know what it takes. Every setup built from the ground, we break. If you want that feel when the car locks in, you're in the right place. Let's go win. Yeah, we built one. Yeah, we built for the win. Hammer down, let it ride, do it all again. From the green flag flying to the checkered drop, with a reason you're leading Tier 1. Setup shop Tier 1. Take it straight to the front. League nights, open runs with the ones you want. Dialed in speed, yeah, we don't miss shots. If you want to win races, Tier 1 setup shop. Got weekly sets ready, ready to roll. Quality trim sharp, race pace control. Builders in the lab, yeah, they stay on it. Every tweak, every change, we gain on it. Need a custom fit, yeah, we do that too. Built to match your style, what you like to do. And it ain't just speed, it's a team right here. We ride together every lap, every gear, yeah, we test, we tune, we put in the miles. Turn bad weeks into victory smiles. From rookies to pros, we're all about growth. Now fire that motor, let's get to the front. Yeah, we built for the win, yeah, we built for the win. Hammer down, let it ride, do it all again. From the green flag flying to the checkered drop, we're the reason you're leading Tier 1. Setup shop Tier 1. Yeah, you know the name. When the pressure's on, we bring the game. From the shop to the track, yeah, we don't stop. If you want to win races, Tier 1 setup shop. See you in Victory Lane. Tier 1 setup shop. Tier 1.